The AI Surveillance Grid, What Your Smart Devices Are Really Collecting. Chapter 1, The Hidden Depths of Your Smart Home Data. In recent years, the rise of smart home devices has transformed everyday living into a seamless, interconnected experience. From voice-activated assistants to intelligent thermostats, from security cameras to smart refrigerators, these devices promise convenience and efficiency. But beneath this shiny veneer lies a complex web of data collection that many consumers remain unaware of. What your smart home truly gathers about you might surprise you. To understand the scope of this data collection, it's essential first to grasp what types of devices are involved. Virtually every aspect of a modern home can now be connected: lighting systems that adjust automatically, door locks controlled remotely, even beds and mirrors equipped with sensors. These devices operate through tiny embedded computers that communicate with cloud servers via the internet. They're designed to listen, watch, record, and analyze in ways that often go beyond their primary functions. Take voice assistants like Amazon Alexa or Google Home as an example. These devices are always listening, waiting for their wake word to respond when summoned. But in doing so, they record everything within earshot, even conversations not meant for them. This means ambient sounds and private talks are being captured and stored somewhere in the digital ether. Similarly, smart security cameras don't just record footage when motion is detected. Many continuously stream video data to remote servers for analysis and storage. Some models use facial recognition algorithms to identify household members or visitors, data that can be stored indefinitely or shared with third parties without explicit consent. Even seemingly innocuous gadgets like smart thermostats collect behavioral data about your daily routines, when you turn on the heat or air conditioning, and send this information back to corporate servers for analysis. Over time, these small bits of information add up into detailed profiles about your habits and preferences. The scale of surveillance is staggering once you start counting all these interconnected devices working together. Every command you give your virtual assistant reveals something about your priorities. Every movement caught on camera maps out your daily patterns. Every setting change records a moment in your personal life's rhythm. But how much data is actually gathered? The truth is startling. Most consumers have no idea how much information their devices transmit or store. A typical household with several smart gadgets may generate hundreds of megabytes, or even gigabytes, of data daily without realizing it. All this information flows into corporate databases where AI algorithms analyze it at scale. They look for patterns, when you're most active online, which rooms you frequent most often, and build behavioral profiles that become more refined over time. This process might seem harmless at first glance. It's marketed as improving user experience or providing personalized services, but it also raises significant privacy concerns. For instance, if companies know exactly when you're away from home or asleep through sensor activity patterns, they hold power over those details. Moreover, some manufacturers retain control over this vast trove of personal data far beyond what consumers are told during initial purchases or in user agreements, which few people read thoroughly anyway. That could potentially be shared with third parties such as advertisers or even government agencies under certain conditions. This secretive accumulation forms what we can think of as an invisible layer beneath our everyday lives, a digital shadow cast by our own home's connected gadgets. It's akin to living inside a glass house where every movement leaves an imprint visible not just to us but also to those who access these streams behind the scenes. Understanding just how deeply integrated these systems have become reveals why privacy risks are mounting rapidly in today's digitally connected world, and why awareness is crucial before surrendering more personal space into this ever-expanding surveillance net. In essence, our homes are no longer private sanctuaries but part of a sprawling surveillance infrastructure powered by artificial intelligence algorithms analyzing our behavior 24/7. The more we depend on these technologies for comfort and convenience, the smarter they become, the more vulnerable we make ourselves by unwittingly exposing intimate details about our lives. As we move forward in this book series, including exploring how AI connects all these individual devices into an extensive surveillance network, it becomes clear that understanding what hidden depths exist within our own homes is the first step toward protecting ourselves from potential misuse and invasion of privacy. Because ultimately, knowing what your smart device really collects isn't just about technology, it's about safeguarding fundamental rights. Your right to keep certain aspects of your life private amid a rapidly evolving digital landscape driven by artificial intelligence's relentless pursuit for knowledge and control. Chapter 2. How AI Creates an Interconnected Surveillance Network. In the age of smart technology, our homes are no longer just spaces for living. They have transformed into intricate networks of devices communicating seamlessly with one another. These devices, from thermostats and security cameras to voice assistants and refrigerators, form a web that continuously collects, shares, and analyzes data. While this interconnectedness offers convenience and efficiency, it also creates a powerful surveillance system driven by artificial intelligence. To understand how this happens, we first need to grasp the concept of device communication within a smart home. Modern devices are designed to be smart because they can send and receive information over wireless networks, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, Zigbee, Z-Wave, depending on their purpose. These protocols enable them to work together without human intervention. For example, when you come home in the evening and unlock your front door with a smart lock, your security system might notify your thermostat to turn down the heating or cooling in anticipation of your arrival. This seamless exchange is made possible by centralized hubs or cloud services that act as control points for multiple devices. When you set up a smart home system via an app on your phone, you are essentially connecting various components into one ecosystem managed through that platform. The AI algorithms behind these platforms analyze data from all connected devices in real time. But what makes this network truly alarming is its depth of integration beyond simple device functions. It's not just about turning lights on or off anymore. Every action taken by one device can trigger responses in others based on behavioral patterns detected by AI. For instance, if your smart speaker notices consistent commands at certain times, say asking about weather forecasts every morning, it might start predicting your routine habits over time. If motion sensors detect activity when you're typically away during work hours, or if door sensors record frequent entries at odd times, that data feeds into complex behavioral models constructed by AI software. This interconnected web becomes more sophisticated as machine learning algorithms analyze vast amounts of collected data across multiple devices and time periods. The system begins recognizing patterns: when you tend to wake up, how long you stay in certain rooms, whether certain family members have specific routines, even emotional states inferred from speech tone or lighting preferences. The network's intelligence grows exponentially because each piece of data enhances the overall understanding of individual behaviors within the household environment. It's akin to building an ever-expanding digital map, a detailed behavioral footprint that reflects not only physical movements but also emotional cues inferred from interaction patterns. Moreover, these systems often share information with external servers operated by device manufacturers or third-party service providers via cloud storage solutions. This means that even if you're not directly interacting with all parts of the network regularly, your behaviors are being logged remotely, in some cases continuously, and stored far beyond what most consumers realize. The sophistication doesn't stop there. Some systems employ edge computing techniques, processing data locally within devices, to perform initial analysis before sharing only relevant insights back to central servers. This helps reduce bandwidth usage but doesn't eliminate surveillance possibilities, since raw data may still be stored elsewhere or shared further down the line. Another dimension adding complexity is third-party integrations. Apps connecting various devices from different brands often share user information across platforms under broad licensing agreements that many users never fully read or comprehend during setup stages. All these elements combine into what can be called an AI-driven interconnected surveillance network. A digital nervous system within our homes capable of monitoring every corner and every activity with remarkable detail and speed. From a technological standpoint, this network resembles a vast brain working silently behind the scenes, learning our routines so well that it anticipates our needs before we articulate them explicitly. Or worse yet, as tools for manipulation without our conscious awareness. Furthermore, and perhaps most disturbingly, the scale at which these networks operate means they are capable not only of tracking individual households but also integrating multiple homes into larger surveillance grids managed collectively through major corporations or government agencies if access is granted, or exploited through breaches or legal loopholes. This level of interconnectedness amplifies existing privacy concerns dramatically because it shifts control away from individual users towards centralized systems wielding enormous power over personal lives based solely on passive data collection and analysis capabilities built into everyday appliances we trust blindly as part of modern living. In conclusion, the creation of an interconnected surveillance network via AI-driven communication among smart devices transforms ordinary homes into complex ecosystems constantly feeding behavioral insights back. into unseen algorithms. While these technologies offer undeniable benefits, from energy savings to enhanced security, they also pose profound risks regarding privacy invasion and personal autonomy. Understanding how this web functions lays essential groundwork for recognizing why safeguarding our digital footprints has become more urgent than ever, as we move forward in exploring this brave new world shaped by artificial intelligence. It's crucial we remain aware that beneath the surface convenience lies an intricate grid collecting far more than we ever intended or imagined to reveal about ourselves. Chapter 3, Expert Insights, the exploitation of smart device data in the rapidly expanding world of smart home technology. It's easy to believe that these devices are simply tools designed to bring convenience and comfort. But behind their sleek interfaces and voice-activated commands lies a complex web of data collection and potential exploitation. To truly understand the risks posed by the AI surveillance grid, we must listen to what experts in privacy and cybersecurity have to say about how this data can be misused. Dr. Emily Carter is a renowned cybersecurity analyst who has dedicated her career to uncovering vulnerabilities in connected devices. She explains that most consumers are unaware of just how much information their smart devices gather without explicit consent. Every interaction with your smart speaker, thermostat, or security camera feeds into a vast database, she says. This data isn't just stored, it's analyzed, shared, and sometimes sold. The problem is that many users accept these terms without reading them thoroughly or understanding what they agree to. One of the main concerns experts highlight is targeted advertising. Companies collect behavioral data from smart devices to build detailed profiles of users' preferences, habits, and even emotional states. These profiles enable advertisers not only to push tailored ads but also to influence consumer choices subtly, steering purchasing decisions without overt awareness. For example, if your smart fridge notices frequent grocery shopping trips for certain brands or types of food, you might find yourself targeted with specific promotions for those items later online or via other connected services. However, targeted advertising isn't the worst-case scenario according to security professionals. More troubling are possibilities like identity theft and unauthorized surveillance by government agencies or malicious actors. David Huang is a cybersecurity expert specializing in digital privacy rights who warns that interconnected device networks can become weak points for cyberattacks if not properly secured. Hackers can exploit vulnerabilities in your smart home setup, Huang explains. Once inside your network, they could access cameras or microphones, gathering live audio or video, or even manipulate your devices remotely. In some cases, hackers have used compromised smart cameras as entry points into larger home networks, leading to breaches involving sensitive personal information stored on computers or cloud accounts linked through those devices. The danger extends beyond external threats. Internal misuse by companies themselves also poses significant risks. Some corporations may leverage collected data not solely for improving services but also for more invasive purposes such as behavioral manipulation or political profiling, all done behind closed doors with little transparency. Experts emphasize that these practices often occur because users lack visibility into how their data is being used once it leaves their homes. Terms of service agreements tend toward dense legal language filled with vague promises about improving user experience while omitting details about third-party sharing practices. To illustrate this point further, Dr. Carter recounts an incident where she uncovered a major flaw in an IoT device manufacturer's security protocol during an independent investigation. We found that certain models transmitted unencrypted audio recordings directly back to servers owned by third parties, she recounts grimly. This meant anyone with access could potentially listen in on private conversations, without owners knowing. Such incidents reveal just how vulnerable consumers are when it comes to safeguarding their personal information within the AI surveillance grid's expanding reach. Another issue experts highlight concerns governmental surveillance programs utilizing existing device ecosystems as tools for mass monitoring operations, sometimes legally authorized but often lacking sufficient oversight or accountability measures. Many people don't realize, Huang notes solemnly, that simply owning a connected device could put you under scrutiny if authorities decide they want access, particularly if there's no clear legislation protecting user privacy against such intrusions. The potential misuse extends beyond government agencies. Malicious actors can exploit these vulnerabilities too, especially when manufacturers fail at implementing robust security protocols from the outset. As recent high-profile hacks demonstrate, such as attacks on popular IoT platforms, no device connected improperly is immune from exploitation. So what does all this mean? Experts agree that awareness and active measures is essential if consumers want some control over their personal data within this interconnected environment. Huang suggests practical steps. Change default passwords immediately after setting up any new device. Keep firmware updated regularly. Disable features you don't need, such as voice recognition if privacy matters most. He also advocates for using secure networks like VPNs, virtual private networks, whenever possible and scrutinizing service agreements carefully before accepting them. A task many find tedious but vital given what's at stake. Insights from leading experts reveal unsettling truths about how our beloved smart devices can transform from helpful assistants into conduits for surveillance and exploitation hand in hand with powerful corporations and potentially nefarious entities alike. As we delve deeper into understanding this hidden landscape within our homes, the core theme of the AI surveillance grid, we must remain vigilant against those who seek not only convenience but control over every aspect of our lives through relentless data harvesting. Chapter 4, The Behavioral Footprint, What Your Devices Know About You. In the age of interconnected smart devices, our homes have become data-generating hubs that continuously observe and record our lives. From the moment we wake up to when we go to bed, our devices are quietly gathering information about our behaviors, habits, and even emotional states. But what exactly do these devices know about us? And how is this data used beyond simple convenience or entertainment? This chapter explores the intricate behavioral footprints left behind by your smart home devices and reveals how this information can be exploited in ways you might never have imagined. Understanding behavioral footprints begins with recognizing that every interaction you have with your device, whether it's turning on a light, adjusting the thermostat, or asking a voice assistant for weather updates, is logged and analyzed. These interactions might seem innocuous on their own but collectively form a detailed picture of your daily routines and preferences. Over time, this data becomes an extensive behavioral profile that offers deep insights into who you are, your habits, your moods, even your emotional states. One of the most striking aspects of these profiles is their granularity. Smart thermostats learn when you wake up each morning based on when you adjust the temperature or open the curtains. Security cameras recognize patterns in when people are home or away. Voice assistants track what topics interest you most by analyzing your questions and commands. Over weeks and months, these seemingly trivial details compile into a comprehensive narrative about your life. For example, if your device notices that every evening at 7 p.m., you turn on certain lights and play soft music while working at home alone, it begins to understand that this is part of your routine, perhaps a way to unwind after a long day. If it detects that during stressful moments such as arguments or late-night worries, users tend to increase volume levels or change lighting colors to more calming hues, it gains insight into emotional states as well. But how accurate are these insights? AI-driven analysis leverages complex algorithms capable of detecting subtle patterns invisible to humans. It doesn't just note what actions are taken, it infers why they happen. It may associate increased activity in certain rooms with anxiety or boredom based on contextual clues like time of day or previous behavior patterns. This ability to interpret emotional states opens doors and pitfalls for those who control such data. For instance, advertisers could target ads for relaxation products during times identified as stressful for users, a practice known as emotional manipulation rooted in behavioral profiling rather than overt advertising strategies from traditional media sources. Furthermore, companies aren't just collecting static data, they're constantly updating their understanding of users through machine learning models that adapt over time. The more interactions they record, whether positive, such as saying thank you, or negative, such as expressing frustration, the better their models become at predicting future behaviors or influencing current ones. The implications extend well beyond commercial interests. Governments could theoretically access detailed behavioral profiles under surveillance laws justified by national security concerns, tracking movements during protests or monitoring dissenting voices based on speech patterns captured through connected microphones. Even more concerning is how these profiles can be exploited internally within organizations for targeted marketing campaigns, or worse, in manipulative ways designed to influence consumer choices subtly but powerfully without explicit awareness from users themselves. Beyond external exploitation lies personal privacy erosion. Each piece of behavioral data adds layers to an individual's digital fingerprint, a unique signature so precise that it can reveal intimate details often kept private even from close friends and family members. So what makes these footprints so difficult to escape? Unlike traditional tracking methods like cookies on websites, which can be cleared, behavioral profiles built within a smart home ecosystem are integrated deeply into device operations themselves. They're stored locally but also uploaded frequently to cloud servers where AI algorithms analyze them further, all often happening without clear notification or user consent. This process raises essential questions. Are consumers fully aware of how much their behavior is being monitored? Do they understand how detailed these insights are becoming? And perhaps most critically, what rights do individuals have over this wealth of personal information once it's collected? The first step toward addressing these issues starts with awareness. All too often people accept smart devices simply because they make life easier without considering what's being recorded behind the scenes. Recognizing that every tap at the screen leaves an imprint allows us some measure of control over our digital identities, even if only marginally, for now. A practical approach involves understanding specific behaviors tracked by common household devices. Lighting patterns, when turned on off automatically based on occupancy sensors, reveal sleep schedules. Voice commands, what topics interest you, or trigger frequent inquiries, and whether those interests shift over time. Thermostat adjustments, how temperature preferences fluctuate throughout different parts of the day. Media consumption, which content types evoke emotional reactions detectable through connected speakers' volume changes. By paying attention not only to what devices do but also why they might be doing it, and recognizing potential uses, the average person can begin taking steps towards safeguarding privacy. Awareness alone isn't enough. Knowledge empowers action. For instance, disabling features that track mood-related responses unless necessary. Limiting permissions granted for voice recordings. Regularly reviewing device activity logs if available. Using encryption tools where possible to prevent unauthorized access during transmission. Ultimately, understanding what your devices know about you underscores one simple truth. In today's interconnected world, privacy isn't just about hiding secrets. It's about maintaining autonomy over one's own identity amid pervasive surveillance infrastructure built around behavioral profiling. As we progress further into this book's exploration of the AI surveillance grids reach into every facet of daily life, from passive tracking points in Chapter 2 through potential misuse discussed in Chapter 3, it becomes clear our behaviors form an intricate tapestry woven secretly behind closed circuits within our homes, and perhaps beyond, that defines who we truly are beneath surface appearances. Recognizing this reality empowers us all, not just consumers but citizens, to question assumptions about convenience versus privacy and push back against unwarranted intrusion into our innermost selves. A crucial step toward reclaiming control in an increasingly monitored world driven by artificial intelligence shaping not only technology but also perceptions, and perhaps ultimately, even free will itself. Chapter 5. Protecting your privacy. Practical steps you can take now. In a world increasingly shaped by interconnected smart devices, protecting your privacy has become more urgent than ever. The very convenience these devices offer comes with a hidden cost, the steady accumulation of personal data that can be exploited in ways you might never anticipate. Understanding what your devices are capable of and taking concrete actions to shield yourself from unwanted surveillance is essential for maintaining control over your private life. This chapter offers practical, straightforward steps you can implement today to reduce the amount of data your smart home collects about you and to limit the potential misuse of that information. Whether you're a tech novice or someone familiar with digital privacy, these measures will help you take immediate control and make smarter choices in managing your connected environment. 1. Familiarize yourself with device settings. The first step toward safeguarding your privacy is understanding what data each device collects and how you can control it. Most smart devices, smart speakers, thermostats, cameras, lighting systems have settings that allow you to disable or limit certain features. Start by exploring the device's app or interface thoroughly. Look for options related to data sharing, voice recordings, location tracking, or cloud storage. Many manufacturers now include privacy controls explicitly designed for user convenience. However, they are often tucked away in menus labeled privacy, data management, or permissions. Disabling unnecessary features such as voice recording history on smart speakers or location tracking on home automation hubs can significantly reduce the amount of personal information transmitted. 2. Use secure networks and strong passwords. Your home's Wi-Fi network acts as the backbone for all connected devices. Securing it is fundamental to preventing unauthorized access that could lead to data interception. Change default passwords on your router immediately upon setup. Use complex combinations that include uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. Avoid using common words or easily guessable information like birth dates. Enable WPA3 encryption if available. If not, WPA2 remains secure when combined with strong passwords. Consider creating a separate guest network exclusively for visitors' devices so that they do not have access to your primary network where sensitive smart home devices reside. 3. Regularly update device firmware. Manufacturers frequently release updates that patch security vulnerabilities discovered after initial release. Failing to install updates leaves devices exposed to cyber threats. Set up automatic updates where possible or check periodically for firmware upgrades through each device's app or website. This proactive approach ensures you're protected against known bugs and security flaws that malicious actors may exploit. 4. Limit data sharing through user agreements. Many users accept terms of service without reading them carefully. A dangerous oversight given how much personal information some companies collect under vague disclosures. Before installing new devices or apps, read privacy policies thoroughly. Understand what data is collected and how it will be used. Look for options within settings to opt out of non-essential data collection features. If an option isn't available but privacy concerns outweigh convenience benefits, consider choosing a different product from a manufacturer with better transparency practices. 5. Disable unnecessary features. Smart devices often come packed with functionalities beyond their core purpose, many of which may be unnecessary in your household context but still active by default. Turn off voice assistants if you don't use them regularly. Disable cloud backups unless needed. Turn off remote access capabilities when not required. These simple steps prevent continuous transmission of potentially sensitive audio recordings or other personal data outside your local network unnecessarily. 6. Use privacy-focused hardware and software alternatives. Whenever possible, opt for open-source firmware like Tasmota or ESP Home on compatible IoT gadgets because they grant greater control over what data gets transmitted. Choose products from manufacturers committed to user privacy who do not sell customer data nor share it without explicit consent. Additionally, use virtual private networks, VPNs, when connecting remotely into your home network. This encrypts all traffic between you and your local system. 7. Create segmented network zones. Segmenting your home Wi-Fi into different zones adds an extra layer of security. Keep critical smart home devices separated from guest Wi-Fi networks used by visitors' phones and laptops. This limits potential attack vectors since even if one part becomes compromised, and many IoT gadgets are vulnerable, it won't necessarily give hackers access to everything else on your main network containing sensitive personal information. 8. Be mindful about voice commands and video recordings. Many smart speakers and cameras continuously listen for commands or record video footage in ways consumers might not realize. Mute microphones when voice assistants aren't being used. Delete stored recordings regularly. Turn off cameras when monitoring isn't necessary. Review app permissions periodically so these services do not retain more audio, video than needed, and disable any always-on listening functions if they aren't essential for daily use. 9. Monitor connected devices. Regularly stay vigilant by periodically reviewing what is connected. Check device lists and router management interfaces. Remove unfamiliar gadgets. Unrecognized items could indicate unauthorized additions through hacking efforts aimed at spying on household activities without permission. 10. Use two-factor authentication, 2FA. Enhance account security by enabling 2FA wherever available, instead of relying solely on passwords, which may be stolen through phishing schemes. This additional verification step makes unauthorized access significantly harder even if login credentials are compromised. Conclusion. Taking control before it's too late. The landscape described throughout this book underscores one thing clearly: our homes have transformed into surveillance grids powered by AI-driven technology we often don't fully understand or control ourselves anymore. Yet amidst this complex web lies hope. Actionable steps exist today allowing us reclaim our privacy bit by bit. Implementing these measures doesn't require expensive upgrades nor technical expertise. Most involve conscious choices about device management routines we can adopt immediately. As users aware of the risks posed by unchecked surveillance within our own homes, we hold the power and responsibility to protect ourselves from invasive monitoring. Remember, safeguarding privacy isn't just about avoiding inconvenience, it's about preserving autonomy amid an increasingly monitored world. By taking deliberate action now, adjusting settings, securing networks, limiting unnecessary features, you stand guard against becoming another node in the AI surveillance grid. Your right to private life depends largely on those small yet impactful decisions made today.